Hello, my name is Lena Taylor, and I'm here to present Devlog 3 for Project Eggbert, a game about a bouncing ball. You might have noticed it's been a few months since the last devlog, and that's because I've been focusing on my student project. The project in question, if you're curious, is Fallen, a 2D platformer based on the original Castlevania. I developed it over the course of a few months with my fellow students, and it was a lot of fun. It's a little rough, but if you want to check it out, it's available for free on itch.io. However, that project has finished development, so I'm now free to work on Eggbert. Over the past week, I've developed two new elements, the magic top hat and the balloons. The balloons are the simpler of the two. They work with on-trigger enter, so when the player touches it, they launch upward. This will cause the balloon to pop, which will then make the balloon respawn after a set amount of time, and a random color is assigned to the balloon whenever it spawns in. Top hats are a bit more complicated. Originally, I wanted them to be portals, and they still function that way. So when you go through the bottom of the top hat, like into the hole, you respawn into another top hat, kind of like a rabbit being pulled out of a hat. But then I asked myself, what would happen if you touched the top hat outside of that bottom hole? So I decided that the top half would work as a spring, kind of like the Sonic games. So in that way, the top hat kind of has dual purpose. So these elements were fairly simple to put together. Like I said, the balloons work with on-trigger enter. They simply add a force to the player's rigid body, but I reset the velocity first in order to make it easier to change directions in midair, because right now the player's momentum makes that kind of difficult to do. As for the top hat, I have two triggers that are both children of a parent object. The spring trigger works a lot like the balloons, however it adds force in relation to the local position and rotation of the trigger, so that way I can dynamically change which direction the player is bouncing without having to change any values in the script. I just rotate the top hat. And the portal works in the same way, in that it has an entry point and an exit point. It simply repositions the player as needed. But I also changed the velocity of the player to match the new direction by multiplying the magnitude of the player's current velocity by a local direction of the portal. To prevent diving into child objects whenever I needed to make changes to the top hat, I actually kept the values these scripts needed in a master script that I keep on the parent object. So, for example, things such as like the force used for the spring or the exit point of the portals, that's kept on this master script and then obtained by the children when the game runs. So the mechanics worked fine enough, and I thought they were fun. So in order to prove that they were fun, I created a quick action block to test them. I'm satisfied with how the action block turned out as a whole, but I definitely need to add more visual and audio feedback to the balloons in the top hat, because they don't make any sounds or have any visual reactions at this point. And I feel like I should have made an action block with nothing but the player's movement first, because I have this action block that proves that these two mechanics are fun, but I haven't proven that the main game's fun yet. And that's going to be something I focus on soon. These next few weeks, I want to continue to create new elements and action blocks, just to come up with a bunch of different ideas and see what might put into the final game. But after that, I want to revisit player movement, because I feel like it isn't responsive enough. And I want to make sure that Eggbert is as fun to play with as possible, as fun to move as possible. So that's my plan, and that's what I've done. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good time. See you.